Okay, so I'm just gonna now show you the bits and pieces of this gimbal. This is a kind of a tripod stand which you kind of screw on the bottom, and if you wanted to have it self-standing, then you can, no problem. It kind of makes for a nice extension as well, so if you keep this on, you have a nice longer handle if you have a bigger hand. This is a flash, sorry, not a flash, a video light, and you can adjust the intensity, high, medium, low, medium, high, like that. And then you also have, this is a bright white, I would say 5,000, maybe 6,000K. And then you have your kind of your orange gel filter for a warmer, like a CTO type lighting. And then you have red, blue, and green, purple, cyan, and then back to white. Okay, I'm just gonna turn that off. Okay, and there's, I guess, magnetic mounts here. So if you want it, you can actually clip it here, kind of just like that, and it snaps right on. And you obviously, if you're doing a selfie type of shot, then you can go like the opposite direction. Okay, and this is the I guess the gimbal, and it comes wrapped like this. It's got a little QR code so you could download your app and stuff like that. But basically it's a magnetic thing here, so it's hard to do it with one hand. Okay, there we go. So once you got that open, you clip your phone right here, and it opens pretty wide. I'm using a Pixel 9 Pro XL with a case, so it opens wide enough to get a decent grip on that. One thing you want to do is, there is this logo here, and you want to make that upright, AOCHUAN logo, and then you put your phone on there. Okay, so the controls are pretty simple. You hold it like this, and then this is a joystick, so you can move your framing. Then you press the joystick down to make it pan, follow mode, full follow mode, locked mode, and POV mode. Okay, and I'll demonstrate that within this video. And record, power, and then you have your kind of like your zoom buttons here. And it's, personally, I don't like using this very often because it makes the video zoom in and out kind of jerky. And you can play with the settings on the app, and I don't really love it. And I can demonstrate that later as well. If you double tap the record button, it'll go from portrait, landscape, kind of switches automatically, and you do have to balance this phone properly, or else when you go back and forth between the modes, it'll fail to balance, and the entire gimbal will go limp, and you have to start all over again and rebalance. I believe if you double tap the power button, you can see the battery levels here. There's 4 little LEDs that show your different gimbal modes, but when you double tap it, it'll quickly flash how much battery life you have left. And this thing is pretty awesome battery life, to say the least. And just speaking of battery, let's see if I can open this with one hand. There you go. So that's one of those huge batteries. It looks like an AA here, but it's not. It's one of those giant, I don't even know what it is. It's like a 18650 26 volt rechargeable lithium batteries. And if this starts to run out of juice, you can actually replace this rechargeable battery. So actually, I don't think it's lithium. I think it's nickel metal hydride. If I could, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So, sorry, did I say 26 volts? I shouldn't have said that. I think it's 3.6 volts, 2,550 milliamp hours. So, yeah, it's one of those things you can replace should the battery start to go out on you. And this is a magnetic clip, very cool. I love magnetic clips. It's easy, it just snaps right on. In terms of charging, you got the USB-C, and the flashlight also has a USB-C as well. So yeah, it's pretty simple unit. I've previously used DJI Mobile, I think Mobile 5 or something. Works very similar. The app itself also works quite well. Pretty nice, you know, cost-effective solution if you need something like this. This is your typical follow face mode with this gimbal, and you can see I'm kind of moving around and it does a pretty okay job. But as you'll see quickly, this will only work if you're kind of filming one person. If another person comes to frame, this thing goes absolutely nuts, and I'll demonstrate that next. This is follow face mode when there's multiple faces coming into the scene. This thing is kind of erratic right now. There you go. So it's just doing it on its own. I'm not really doing anything. So right now I have it on pause, and as soon as a second face comes in, it doesn't lock on. It's basically going back and forth. It's going back and forth, going nuts still. So, yeah, this is only good for one person. You do not want to use this for anything other than one person. Oh, okay, so I removed the face tracking mode, and this is just a smooth video of this scene, and it works decent. I'm not moving the camera around, I'm just kind of moving left and right, and it does a decent job. Pretty smooth. Now, if I go zoom in and out, it's very jerky. This is at 60 FPS, and I find it very jerky. So I'll try to go in, sorry, out. So you can see that it's a little bit jerky. Not very smooth. So I wouldn't use this function much in actual videos. I'd stick to a particular mode, frame, and then stick with it. Otherwise you'll end up with jerky video. Okay, now I'm just gonna walk through the hallways and show you kind of the level of smoothness that you can kind of expect from something like this. So, not too bad. It does a pretty good job reducing the jerkiness of my walking, so I'm mildly impressed. Not too bad. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through the different gimbal modes. This is the pan follow, and essentially what pan follow is you can pan left and right as such. It'll do a pretty good job stabilizing it and keeping it level. And then if you try to tilt your gimbal kind of up and down, it'll try to stay kind of locked on to where you had initially set it. So you can go left and right, but I'm right now tilting the camera up and down, and it's trying to keep the camera kind of fixed in terms of the axis that will tilt the camera up and down. So that's pan follow. That's probably one of your most used mode. I I'm guessing. The kind of the full follow mode is pan follow, followed by, if I tilt my gimbal axis up, it'll actually start looking up now. So you can see the rest of the picture, and I'm going down and up, and it'll do a good job leveling. I actually personally like this mode the most because it's very versatile in what I want to do. It does what I want to do mentally. So full follow mode is basically pan left and right, and then it uses the sensors to move your framing up and down and keep it level at the same time. Okay, so this is the next mode. This is the locked mode. So I have it locked on this red monster, and it will try to, no matter what I do, it'll try to move the camera to make sure that that thing is sort of locked on. So I'm physically moving left and right, and it's trying to stay there. Okay, so even if I tilt the camera up and down, it will not move, and I'm tilting it left and right, all axes, it'll kind of stay there. I don't like this mode particularly for most things. It's a very particular mode that you would really want to keep this in there. And this is the POV mode, point of view, and you can kind of, it's almost like you're running and gunning a shot, and you kind of want that weird tilt. See now you can see a very loose leveling here. I can go up and down. So it's kind of if you're running and gunning, so I could try that right now. So if I kind of like run, and you could kind of see the camera go off axis and not level itself. And that's basically the 4 modes. And with all these modes, you can obviously do it with your front-facing camera or your rear-facing camera. In addition, you can follow an object, follow face, or follow body. And to be honest, follow face works if you have one person, like I've demonstrated. Follow object doesn't work at all. I don't really like it. Follow body doesn't work that great either. So personally, I like to disable all of those kind of AI techniques, because it puts the camera and frames it in a way that you don't really want. So I turn it all off. I also turn off all of the face beautifying and all that junk. I just want a good raw footage, and I turn off all the apps fanciness, and I do all that stuff in post. So that's pretty much it for the modes. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate going from landscape to portrait and how this fails. So if you do not have your camera balanced properly, when you switch to portrait mode, it completely drops and fails. It'll give you a couple of beeps and fail. Watch. So it wasn't able to balance it, so it's kind of in limp mode right now. Okay, so in that previous video, it wasn't balanced, so it completely failed, and then the whole gimbal shut down in limp mode. So you gotta kind of test this before you go out and run it, and I'm gonna try again. I've adjusted the balance, and I'm gonna try going to portrait mode. There we go, success. So it worked. So I double tap the record, and it goes to portrait mode, and now it goes to landscape mode. And it once you kind of know where you should balance your phone, clip the phone onto the gimbal, you'll get good at it for your phone. So portrait. Okay, so once again, if you don't have this thing balanced properly initially, and you try flipping it, it'll completely go limp, and you have to restart the phone and the app, etc. So make sure you got this down and fully balanced before you go out and shoot. So I hope you enjoyed this lengthy overview with demonstrations. I don't use this that often. I only use it for very specific sporting events for my kids. I actually do have a DJI Mobile 5, I think. Mobile 5 or 4, one of those revisions. And it's pretty much comparable. I actually prefer this over the DJI one because the app itself is less bloaty. And it just seems to work better for my phone, which is the Pixel 9 Pro XL. I can't put a finger on it, but for whatever reason, I'm able to kind of get what I want with this one as opposed to the DJI one. The DJI one pretty much looks and feels very similar. But the biggest problem I had with DJI is the video was choppy. It uses these gimbals. They use their own video app to record, not your native camera app. So for whatever reason, the DJI one produced very choppy 4K video, and I just couldn't use the video out of that one. But for this one, aside from the zooming and in and out being choppy, I found it to be just more fluid and not choppy. I just couldn't figure out why that was for my particular phone. But this brand, I actually don't even know how to pronounce it. AOCHUAN seems to work quite well, and it's actually costs less than the DJI one too. So I have to say, I give this thing a thumbs up here for the price and for what it can do. It's pretty comprehensive package. The only thing that this doesn't come with compared to the DJI Mobile one is a case. It doesn't come with a case. It's just this box, no pouch, nothing. So, but that's not a big issue. I just throw it in the bag, and I don't need a case. So that concludes my review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this helps.
Welcome. Today we're going to look at the smartphone stabilizer with 3 axes, Smart X from AOCHUAN. It looks like it has 3 axis stabilization, 3 section fill light, dual expansion interfaces, smart app, replaceable battery, which is quite interesting, easy fold and unfold. So it says in here packaging list, phone gimbal, tripod, USB-C charging cable, and manual. That's what it is. There's an app for Apple and for Android. It's called AOCHUAN. And yeah, as you can see in the photo, it has a light on the back, and that's all you get. Masters, lip, always leads. Not sure what is this. So yeah, let's just take it out. Masters, lip, always leads, says in there again. Some other gimbals I've seen, they had a box, which was quite nice to see. This one comes like this. That's the user manual and the USB A to C for charging. So let's get on with it. So that's the tripod, really good quality, same as you see on other premium devices. I really like that. That's the standard USB A to C cable, nothing impressive. That's the user manual, and that's the gimbal itself. As you can see, you can scan this to open the app. Joystick, power, long press. I think we're good with that. That's the light. Not too sure what is that in there. The 3 maybe for. And you see, it has also this magnet. They also sell, and they had it on other devices I've seen, a little light that attaches in there with magnet. Another nice thing is you see on the side, you can put like one of the accessories, obviously not this. I'm just showing you as an example, and you can have a light in here, or your phone, or another camera with that mount, the GoPro mount. I think this is for zoom in and out. Yeah, it has a joystick in here, power button, record button, the USB-C for charging. So let's just release this. Yeah. So now it's released. Okay, let's just put this as well, make it a bit longer. So the first thing I want to show you, and I want to see it myself, is they say you can replace the battery